Influence here, and today I have the Steel Kiddy Party Shura, which is the super deformed company. One of them, I mean, it's a different name every time, so I'll just say Steel Kiddy Party. And this is their version of a Dinobot team that actually combines into a Shuriken or Volcanus or one of those things that I don't really get down with. But this is a great set, great company. They have their Predaking set that was out and is very good, and this kind of follows it. A couple things here, you know, a couple pieces pop off the ball joints. Nothing crazy. It's a smaller than Legends probably scale set, and it's not much you can expect, but you do get a lot here. A lot of accessories, a lot of everybody has a sword, everybody has a gun. Swords and guns combined to the bigger weapon. All that good stuff is here, and we'll get into that in a second.
Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
As with all the other guys, Grimlock, which is the leader and the torso, is probably the most successful one here. I just think because it's just a little bit bigger than the rest. So he has his axe here that does double as a sword bottom for the big guy, and he has a crown that you can take off, nice enough. And he has his gun. I did break it. I will show you how I broke it, where I broke it, and what not to do.
Subscribe.
Set him on the side, just go through this guy right here. You see his face, and the rest of the side little guys, they do have the helmets that come off, and then you can change the face. That's how you switch the faces around. If you want a different face, this is like kind of pouty face, so I changed it to a smile. That is the only two that you can get for this one, which is, but you can see his face here. He has his sword and his gun right here. It's fine. I like that they all have swords and guns. I didn't show his, I don't think. So his gun is just like simplified gun, and he has his sword. I did show that. Again, his face, he has the like, oh, face, but you can take his helmet off too and switch it like that. And on the other side, he has a smile face. I'd rather have the old face just because, oh. Then he has his sword, which is nice, similar to the other guys, because they do have to all fit together. His gun is the same exact, and I'm not sure if what gun goes where. And then of course you got Swoop. Swoop is nice. You have his wings. His wings can come off. If you like that look better, then it's just the robot. It is a little slimline, but I mean, what's Swoop without his wings, personally? And he comes with his rocket, or his wing rocket gun things that you can, they don't shoot, but they do look nice. They look reminiscent. Put that down with all the weapons. And he has a sword also. Similar swords. And you have all the combiner parts. So in order to make this combiner thing, you have these, the feet are backwards. Well, you have the thing in the back here that fits into these things. So if that's not towards the back, you should change it, because then the feet will go in here. Same thing here. Feet will go back in the back here like that. And then the hands, they fit into the slots here. Move the hands out, put them into the slots. Can move this down. Same thing here. And you actually, if you want, you can turn it around and move it around to this way. So once you put these in, this thing is hard, so you can move that or leave it. I'm just gonna leave it for now because it's so hard to move. Then you can take his wings and put it in the back here. If you want the wings on there, put this over here. And then you have this all together. Everything fits. Everything but the crown. There's nowhere for the crown to go. I'll just stick it in the back. Sword can get tricky, but these two pieces plug together like that. And then you can get the other two pieces. And you kind of can see how they plug together. So they plug together like this. And then you plug these pieces on the top and bottom. So they plug like this. And then you have this piece. Then you just plug this piece in here like this. And then you have the sword. The gun, this is where I messed up. So these things right here, so you see that tabs into there. This can no longer tab in because it broke off into here. I had to drill a little piece. Oh, I tried to drill it out, but it did not work. It just drilled the whole piece, and that drill bit was so small, but it just wouldn't connect. So then this goes here like this. When you're going the opposite way, you can see there's a tab that tabs in right here, tabs up into here. You have to take this piece off first. This gun, you see how this goes in and then tabs into here, right, like that. I didn't realize that, so I was trying to take this gun off and I was pulling it like this and didn't know it was tabbed into there instead of taking this piece off. The directions don't really tell you that. And then you can just pull this off and it will be fine. But instead I messed it up. So you'll see it still combines because it has two tabs. It's not just going in there, it's going up in there, and that's really tight tabs, so it stays on. And then this can go, and now you have the giant gun. And you also have this that you can, the combine mode can hold, or you can move that up and leave it up, and then this will peg onto the arms. Instructions: you get cards for each bot and a card for the combine mode. Box is nice. Box is a window box, so you open it up and you can see all the bots. And you have stuff back here just showing you everything. Little comics, little art box. Nice box. No, it's just clicky. It's a magnet. So what you do, I'll show it more later, but makes the eyes light up on the combine mode. So we got Magic Square, Super Deformed, Optimus Prime, and we have RC here, Super Deformed, both by Magic Square. So you can see the Grimlock, which is a torso, he's as big as RC, close to Optimus. Mainline figure, just so you can see how big how small they are. So that's Studio Series Blaster. Anybody has it or is close to mainline. And here's a couple Legends figures from different companies. You got the Magic Squares Trailbreaker, and this is, I forget who this is. It's Trainbot. So you can see how big the Legends figures are next to them. So they're smaller, all smaller than Legends figures, basically. So let's do some articulation. The rest of the other four are pretty much articulated the same. I'll go over some of them. But you got Grimlock. He can get his head 360. He has light piping which isn't great. I wish they would have painted like they did the other eyes. I don't know why they gave the big guy light piping instead of painting his eyes so it looked better. You can move these around in order to get the arm around. There's two joints. There's this joint right here. This does come off the peg, mushroom peg. It's like a half mushroom peg. It does come off sometimes when you're manipulating, but what you gonna do? But you also got this on a ball joint, so you can get a good range. This goes all the way up 90 degrees. You got an elbow that's 90 degrees. Got a fist that's fixed and you can move it in 360 fashion. He has a waist. They all have waists. It's pretty good for these little guys. They do mostly the full splits and up. They do have a lot going on, so there's a lot to get out. He has the torso for the combine mode in the back, so it does hit everything. But it's not bad. Not bad articulation. Knees are very hard, tightly tolerance. It's funny because some of the tolerances are better than the Predaking, but they're still tight in a lot of places. So you have the knee. The knee gets 90, but it is a lot going on. And you have some rocker in the toes. You can get a little back heavy. This guy, same thing. Going around. He also has this joint here that you can use just like him. Elbow 90 degrees. Swivel. Has a swivel right there. Head can get 360. It is a lot back there because it's the combined port for the feet or the leg, like combined to the leg. He has a waist that can get 360. It's a lot of stuff here. Well, no, it probably goes there if I'm being honest. This little guy, I don't know how much you need. You're not going to be posing him in crazy dynamic poses, but he can pose in dynamic poses. So you got the leg there, and then his foot, he has a rocker as well on just the foot, nothing else. And all the rest of them are pretty much the same. Let me put his wings on so you can see. Well, I'm going to transform it with the wings on because it's fine to transform with the wings on. You can even fold these wings up like this. Everybody else has the same articulation, including this guy, but I was gonna do the extra articulation, which is just in the wings. You can articulate the wings all around and all that stuff. And also you can put his guns on the wings if you want. So let's get these dudes transformed. I like to move the fist so the flat part's out, which is the back of the hand. So I just move it like that and then flip it in. Fist, so the back is going to be out when you put it in. I'm not sure if that's 100% the way, but that's the way I do it. You want to fold this up and move this joint back. See that little joint right there? Move that back until this can tab into right there. I've never had these wings come off. This is the first time. But they just come up. They just pop up. So move this down as far as it can go. And then tab this together right there. Same thing here. Move this up. Move this back and down. Till you can tab that. And you can move this up and tab it into the forehead right here. And that goes like that. Now for the legs, easy. Just move this out these feet all the way out like that. Move this around like that. And then you curl that in, and it goes in there, and there should be enough room. You can move this all the way out and move the feet how you want it. I moved this down too. I'm not sure if you're supposed to. I couldn't tell, but I move it down. It does provide a little bit of support. So if you want, I'll show you what I mean. So again, you just move this out of here like that, then flip this around like that. Be careful because the leg come off the ball joint also. Then you can have this flipped in and together. Then move this, and you can move this however you want. It's on a ball joint, so you can move it so the feet are like this. Again, move these together. There's a little peg that this pegs onto on both sides. The peg is right there. And if this is straight, it should peg in. Yeah, there we go. That pegs in. Then I move this down. Like I said, I think it's like that. It just offers a little more support, because then you can have the feet like this and he can actually stand up like that. Which is what I mean when I say offers more support. And you can just move these however you want. Mouth opens. And there he is. Swoop. And as I said, it's just easier for him to stand up if you have those thruster things out. This guy here, you can pull this out, push his head in, move it back, secure it. Move this thing out. Then you can push this in like that. And then you can secure that there. That's how that's going to be. This, I move his fist, so it's going to be facing down. So the flat part's facing down. Then you can move it up and move his toes around. Again, over here, flat part facing down. Move his toes around, move it up. They kind of move the same, so, and then you can adjust this how you need it to be for the dinosaur. You can do it after you get done this. So now with this, his head is back here, so you want to flip that out. Then you flip this around here on the thigh swivel, which I'm not sure if I told you there's a thigh swivel, but there is. That's what you're flipping this stuff on. So then you just flip this in, and there's a little tab there that tabs on right there. You can move his legs down if you want, put his head up. There you go. Same thing here. Move his head up, move this around, flip this in. Easy. Right here is the tab. You can just flip it into that tab. That's probably the easiest way to do it, instead of trying to poke it, you know. And you just squeeze it together. You got pins on the head that you squeeze together. Move his feet out and open up his mouth for, and there you go. This guy, very similar. Move this down, put his head in. move it back up, move this up here. This moves like in and out, so you move it out, move his head around, and then push it in so it's connected. His neck is more connected. Then you can move these up. Again, I moved the fist around so the flat part is sticking out. Just my preference. Like, I'm not 100% sure that that's it, but can't really tell, and it works. Then you got here, just like the other ones, you pull the tail out, so this is flat like that. Move this around here. First time you do it, it may come off the ball joint, and then you just flip this in, and there's a peg there that pegs on to right there. And then you move his tail up, and you got that side. Again, over here, move his tail all the way up, move this around like that, flip this in, move this tail up so he can make it, and this is there and there. Then you can squeeze them all together. Move his legs down, move his legs down, or that side down. I already said his legs. And here, he's probably the most unsuccessful just because he's should be so much bigger, but what you gonna do? Like, they're super deformed. So I mean, as far as that, it's successful to me. This guy, basically somewhat the same. Move his stuff. You can pull this down because then you can move his head up in there to cover it. I do like that they did that. That's pretty cool. You can move his mouth as much as you can. His arms, again, fist, flat part. His leg came off the ball joint. That's what happens a lot. It's cool though. So move that back. I do give these little guys probably a bigger pass than I would say a Masterpiece or something that was doing that. It's not that I'm giving the company a pass, it's just that, like, what are you gonna do? I just noticed he has, oh, that's dope. So as the dinosaur, he does have rocker. I was gonna say he doesn't have rocker, but I just noticed he does. So that's cool. You can move this up and move his head like more straight back. Now this is exactly the same. Just move his tail out, flip this around, flip this in, and peg it right there. Put this up here, and he should be good to go. Again, move that, flip this around, flip this in. Once you got the one down, you'll get them all down. And there you go. Pull his back legs out, flip them down. Then you can get all the legs adjusted to, the back legs kind of give you the adjustment for the front legs. So this thing flaps all the time, but what you gonna do? And there you go with him. And now Grimlock. So I move his legs, or they're the dino legs, that's why I said that, but move his fist so the flat part's down when you put it up. Again, move this out here. You can turn this around, move this out and up. His head goes in. Not all the way, but just like that. Over here, gotta move this. Now, this moves down on this mushroom like joint. See it right here, moving that down on his mushroom joint there. Now you can kind of tell what's going on, and so this goes around right there, but pull this down too. Now you have this thing here. You want to flip this up here. Move it up like it's on a slider. You want to move that up. Move that up. Slide this up here like this. And then this goes, his waist will move like this. And this will peg into right here. Now you should have enough room for this part right here. But you gotta put this down first because it pegs into the side of the head. So there's a peg here that pegs into the side of each side of the heads. Kind of compasses that. There you go. And then this should fit right here in the back. Does. Now for the legs. So with his legs, you want to pull these out. They're connected to his tail. You can pull this out as well. It's like the bottom, his heel spur. Then you pull his tail out. Now this can be a little bit complicated, but you got to get some room. You pull this out like this. Move that down, and then you can spin this around. Now as you spin it around, you can spin this around too, but you got to kind of get it down a little so you can spin it. Spin this. Now there's almost enough room for you to keep spinning this and keep moving his tail, because his tail goes like this. And you can move. What I found is just keep moving the leg down so you get enough room to keep moving this around, and then this will take care of itself. Then this is all the way up there like this. Then you can move this, the crotch piece, down into here. So it's like this. This is basically what you want. And then you want to push this up in here. Let me see. Always get this messed up. Like this. Then this goes into here. And see, if you get it to here and you can't get this together, it's not right. So then with it like that, you should be able to move this in, and it encompasses all this right here. And that's how you do it. You can move this to give you some room. Do the same thing over here. You got this out. Move this to the side so you can get this together. Move it down like that so it can move even further. And then you can start to move this down. Move this down and move it over at the same time. I didn't move this thing, so move this up. Move this in like that. Now move that down, and this goes together. It has pegs here, peg here. Always get this down because then it's in the same spot. And if you get to this point, there's an over under peg. This side should go last. So then you move that down, and then this encompasses that peg. Then I like to peg all this together before I get this thing situated. Get this here. Then these things right here, they go, I believe, like this. They cover up. You can get it how you want it, how it looks good. They kind of cover up all this. That's what that's for. And here you go with Grimlock. So their articulation is pretty much the same. His head goes around like that. He can have his head straight up and down. His mouth opens. These arms move up and down. No other movement. They are well toleranced. His legs move like this. He still has all of this. And he has a rocker in his bottom legs. So he can get the rock. The good rock if you wanted it. Same for here. He has rockers in his front paws. His legs move like this. Mouth opens. Mouth opens. These legs move up and down. They're on ball joints. These things can move. Wings can move. Front paws have rockers in them, and they can move like this and like this. Back has rockers in it, so you see can rock and move like that in order to have him stand. Same for him. He has rockers in his front. The back doesn't have rockers, but it just moves like this and like this. And his head moves up and down, opens his mouth. You can see masterpiece car. You can see how big they are. Not that big, very small. Nice looking though. Nice looking. They can all fit their weapons. Their weapons are Kaban, so but they can all fit their weapons on. Like Grimlock's goes on his back. The rest of the guys, you can see the holes. They can fit anywhere. So let's just do the arms. Take this off because this is going to go on the back of the combined mode. Then you have this. Close his mouth. This is the port. Right here is the port where he's going to be pegged in. So you can move this down, pull this apart here. There's a extra joint. Very nice that they did that. And then once you do that, you can move this so it doesn't move anywhere. Now this is the left arm, well, the right arm, his right arm, but when you're looking at it, it's the left. So I like to move it so this joint doesn't go in. And move this towards this side. And then since you have it like this, it's up to you how you want to move it. I like to move it. I like this stuff on the outside of the arm. So I move that, move this in. These go down, go up. And you take an arm. There's the hand, the other hand. And you just, there's little slots here that this just slides into. There you go. Arm Done. Here's the other arm. You can tell the arms because they have this on the back because it's how they fit in. So pull that apart like you did before. You know this is this way. You can close this head and move this head down. These arms, there's a little peg there that pegs into either side of these. So you can have them really how you want, but I'm going to show it like this. You move it down like that, and then wherever you can get this, you can move it up if you want. And you can move these like this. It's up to you. So then when you move it like this, it's pegged into here. So you can have it like that. Let me move this so it so I know it's like this. Just like that. Move this sideways. Then you have the arm like this. Then you can move these in here. Just flip them back like robot mode. Move the tail up and then up. Goes like that. I like this inside. The tail I like inside, so. And here we go. And you can take this, slide this on just like the other one. And now you have an arm. Again, I didn't do this one, so move this one around. It's up to you where you want it. I just get it to where it's kind of flat here. It's outside. I like some chunk outside. So there you are with that. This right here, this is going to be your port where you're combining it into the leg. But then you pull this out here and you move this down and it tabs on there and it stays like this. Now this, you have pegs here that peg into there. So you get this where you need it, and then you can peg it into this little space right here. However it pegs. So if you want, you can peg it like that, or you can peg it like this. It really, I mean, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Peg it like that. I'll peg it like that just because. Then with this, this moves up into here like that. Put the foot on. It doesn't matter what side because they're both the same foot. Just move that all the way. This just has to be in the front. Then you can put it on there. So you have a foot. Same thing here. Move that up. Move it back. Tabs in there. Turn this like that so it's facing. These legs you can just move up how they were. Move this up here, this up here, and then you tab in these arms same way you did before, wherever you can, however you can. Up to you. I like kind of like this. I did it two different ways so you can see. Then this goes here. Make sure this stuff is in the front. And that's it. Now for Grimlock. Grimlock is the hardest. Gotta get his legs back to somewhat normal. Normal fashion. So you want to take these off first. Can't find my spudger. Use that. Once you get those off, then you can fool with this like this. And as that's going, move this apart. Then you're flipping this over. This goes up a little. And then as you can get more room, then you just move this up to the side. Be careful because the angles mean everything. Because if you have this off, these corners hit this so it doesn't move as well. So have it straight as you're moving that down. Move that down, move this up. Move that like that. Now this goes into the back. As you would robot mode like that. But this bends like this. On that angle. Basically the joint on the thigh. Now you want to move this so this thing is flat. Then you can move this in here, and there's a peg here that's going to peg onto the tail, like you're going back to robot mode. This makes it a little easier. Now you can push this back here, and if you see it, you'll see it like this because this is the front now. The back is going to be the front, and you want this pointed this way because that's how it's going to connect to the legs. So again, over here, trying to move this piece that way. Get this out of here. Same time, you're moving it this way, moving it down, moving it out, moving this down. And you can move this in the back and down. Tab that on there like that, and then move this little piece in like that. Then you want to move that down like this. Now this here, pull this out. There's a little piece here that you want to pull out as well because it's going to peg into this little hole right here in the crotch. So move that out, move this out, and then you peg this like this into that little crotch piece, and it holds that and everything together. So here you are like this. Now you're moving this back to where it went in the first place. Then you want to move these arms down so you can get this off. The only reason these arms are moved, you can move this stuff down too. It's not going to come into play yet. Move this down here, this down here, so you can get this apart and not the arms off the ball joints. First time for everything while I'm on camera. Move this apart here, and now we want to move this. So move these up here like that, and then this goes back, and then I move this around so these are pointed up. Then there's a peg right here that's going to peg into right here. Make sure that's compacted. Again, over here, move this around, and peg it here. Now you're good to go. Now these should sit into here around this thing. So move it up a little if you need to. so it can fit around there, and then you can move this in here like that, and it fits around the foot. Over here is the same way. Like I said, if you can't get this around this foot, you can just scooch it up and then it'll go. Then you can move this around here like that. Now you can take this piece, you're pretty much where you need to be, and this is going to fit around his head. Then there's pegs right here that peg into here, and this kind of encapsulates that. And there's pegs on the side of his dino head that when you move this down, there's a little space here that's going to peg onto there. Move that around and in there. Make sure this is all the way, so then this can move. Again, over here, make sure that's all the way it is. Then this can move and encapsulate that. And then you can move these arms wherever you need them. But we have this. You can unpeg the chest part and then stick this in here like that. It's the back of the head. Then you put this chest piece back together so it stays. And then this right here can go up here, and you can have it as side skirts. Make sure this is still out. Yeah, that can be side skirts. Same thing here. You can move this out, because if you don't move it out, you can't get this in, and it actually keeps it in the foot as well, or in the back of the head, I should say. That's what you're putting it in the back of the head. Then again, you can move this up here. It's really no type of rhyme or reason. The arms, again, I may have them wrong. This is how I situated it. Oh, you know what? I do have it wrong. So you put it over here. This may need turning. It's just easier just to stick it in. This is a tight joint. So once you put it in, I don't know how many more times it would take to maybe have some damage. So put it in there. Like I said, it's a tight joint. And then over here, the same thing. And here you are in all its glory. I think I said in the beginning, but I don't know if I said it as much as I should have. Like, the paint on this guy is so much crazier than on Predaking. So let me show you Predaking and together. Like, Predaking has that muted DS. That's the only way I can explain it. Like, the paint on Predaking is like the DS Seekers, and this is like maybe Fans Toys paint. But you can see them together and see how they look. Let me bring in his sword. So he has his sword that he can hold. Just a peg and a peg system, just like most figures. Then you can either pull the peg out and you have the peg system for his gun, or you can, which is what I like to do, stick it on the side here. Then he has an arm cannon. I don't know if that's canon, no pun intended. And last but not least, you can stick these wings on the back of him, which I definitely like. So there he is in all his glory. And now you can see it next to each other with all the accessories on there. Put his lights on. Let me see if his lights are still working. Yep, his lights are still working. Here it is compared to Mastermade's Devastator. Of course, the Mastermade series is a little bit bigger than this series of deformed figures. Super deformed. So you can see how they look. I would still put them together. Pit them together, I guess. But Devastator definitely looks like he been working out compared to him. I think anybody that has Mastermade figures, you know, they know the quality of Mastermade figures, and these aren't that far from those. So you can see he holds his sword. See the back. For what they had to do, this is a very good figure. Very. So you have the wings that go like that. He does 360 in the arms. I'm gonna do articulation for the big robot. Goes up about that much. He does have a lot of stuff going on. He gets 90 degrees in the elbow on both sides. So that's cool. He has ball jointed fingers that are curled. So they are not all articulated just on the ball joint. And the thumb just has a ball joint. But they very nice paint too on everything. He has a waist. Goes all around. He does have an ab crunch that he can get. It's like ab crunch. He has skirts in the front that can move around. They're on ball joints. You can also move them up. Then the side skirts over here, they move around on different joints. Up and down. He goes hurdles. Not really. Not bad though. Not bad at all. Out to the side. He has a lot of stuff going on. If you move that stuff out the way though, I think he can get all the way to the side. Yeah, so technically if you move this thing out the way, he can go all the way up and do the full splits. That's dope. Make sure when you're putting it back down, you're putting it down on this. This is rather tight. I mean, you want the hips tight, but it's like super tight. Put this back down. Put that back in. Knee. Gets 90 degrees. You have swivel built in right here at the top. And feet are on a ball joint, so they get the rocker like this. They get the rocker out, and you can go down and up, and it's just, you know, the feet. Actually, the toe looks like, yeah, you got a toe. You got a toe pivot too, so you move the toe independently, and then the rest, the whole foot is on a ball joint. So you got some good articulation there. Head, I don't even know if I did the head. You can get 360, and it's on a ball joint, so you get the side to side. You get up, down. More normal than up. You don't get too much up. But again, I kind of forgive these figures because they have a lot that's going on, a lot of stuff that they got to do in this little package. So I think they were successful. I don't know if I showed the bicep swivel. You got the bottom swivel and the bicep. And of course you get 90 degrees on both sides. And you can get a pretty decent pose out of this. Again, with all the combining Dinobots, it always looks like a mess to me. kind of, but this is very successful the way it looks. I think they did a great job. Only thing that doesn't fit is the crown. I wish they would have made it so it had a little spot to fit up here, because it fits. Like, it's the same size almost. It's the size that would be okay if it fit up here. Like, it doesn't look terrible. But other than that, I mean, I don't know if you can. No, you can't really fit it anywhere. You can put it back here. But that's the only thing that doesn't store out of the accessories. All right, so thanks for watching this review, and I'll get over with you in the next one. Peace.
You know, life ain't over, life ain't over, life ain't over. As long as you're alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want it.